Let's begin with a little exercise wherever you may be. I'll give you 5 seconds to do this, okay? And let's see if you can accomplish the task. I want you to get your pulse, feel your heartbeat. Ready, set, go. You've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Now I'm hoping that most of you were able to find your pulse. If you're sitting with a group and somebody didn't quite raise their hand, you might want to reach over and make sure you can get their pulse, just to make sure that heart's still beating. Now, let's try something different. You've got 5 more seconds. I want you to get a spiritual pulse. How's your spiritual heart doing? Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Now, how did you do with that one? With the first exercise, most of you probably, without hardly even thinking about it, probably just instantaneously went somewhere where you know you could feel your heart beating. What did you do with the second one? 5 seconds isn't a long time, is it? Alma chapter 5, for me, has become the answer to that question. Tyler, how are you doing spiritually? I don't know. I've never found a chapter in Scripture with more pertinent questions in an interview format than Alma chapter 5. And it becomes this incredible opportunity to get a spiritual EKG. So you go to a cardiologist and they're going to hook you up to a machine. You can see why this person went to the cardiologist. Their heart's not doing very well. It's not very consistent. The point being, when you do a physical EKG, you can diagnose some things. You can see what's going wrong or what's going right with your heart. By going into Alma 5, we can create a spiritual EKG to see some things that are going really well, really right, and some things that are really wrong. So this, by the way, is a terrible exercise to do in a group. This, quite frankly, it doesn't matter what other people think about you with regards to answering the questions that we're going to dive into in Alma chapter 5. All that really matters is you getting a one-on-one interview with the Lord through the words of Alma the Younger here. Alma will deliver the questions to you, and then you can prayerfully consider, with the help of the Lord, how am I really doing? How is my spiritual heart, my spiritual pulse? How is it doing well, and where is it struggling? And by the time you're done, you can get all these different questions that he's asking, and we'll cover some of these as we go along, and you just rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, and you might end up with something that looks like this. And by the time you're done, you'll be able to recognize, wow, the Lord has been really good to me in some of these areas, and oh boy, I need some help. I need to work on this as I go in. Now, before we have to be careful here. Before I jump you into Alma 5, into the specific questions, there are some people who are born into this earth life with a propensity to beat themselves up and to feel overly guilty and to never feel like they're ever going to be good enough. So if that's something that you struggle with, I would just say C.S. Lewis gave a really profound quote regarding this effort to try to be good, to try to improve. Listen to this. No man knows how bad he is till he has tried very hard to be good. A silly idea is current that good people do not know what temptation means. This is an obvious lie. Only those who try to resist temptation know how strong it is. After all, You find out the strength of the German army by fighting against it, not by giving in. You find out the strength of a wind by trying to walk against it, not by lying down. A man who gives into temptation after 5 minutes simply does not know what it would have been like an hour later. That is why bad people, in one sense, know very little about badness. They have lived a sheltered life by always giving in. We never find out the strength of the evil impulse inside us until we try to fight it. And Christ, because he was the only man who never yielded to temptation, is also the only man who knows to the full what temptation really means. The only complete realist. As you work on improving your life, don't beat yourself up because of the troughs in this kind of an exercise. Recognize that everybody has struggles. There's nobody whose EKG looks like this except for Jesus himself, and none of us is him yet. So we're all going to have struggles, and it's okay. It's part of the process. One other concept to throw out at a high level is an idea that President Henry B. Eyring shared many years ago in a setting where he said, speaking to seminary and institute teachers, he said, if you want to look for major improvement in your life, his recommendation was, don't look for major things that you can work on improving. He said, find little things that get repeated often in your life and make minor incremental improvements in the way you do those things. And over time, whether it's for an individual or a family or an organization, he says the result over time will be major improvement. Finding things that you repeat often, do it a little bit better, and you'll find that you can sometimes take your strengths to secure the opportunity to improve these low spots of your life and just keep bringing them forward. And the other thing we would say is, don't get overwhelmed with all of that today. Just, you can try. Some people might be able to do that. But if you're like me, I'm going to work on one thing. I'm going to work really hard on that one thing and try to improve it.